Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It is August 21st, 2023, and we are in the Old Testament book of 1 Samuel. We're going to read chapter 7, verse 3 to 17 today. All right. So, little short section, but a lot happens in this little short section. We just saw the fall of Eli, and basically the end of all that corrupt system under the judges, where we had corrupt judges and corrupt people leading each other astray. We had Eli was a high priest and the second to last judge of Israel, and he kind of looked the other way when his sons were taking advantage of people, and we very much get the sense in the text that, hey, he's kind of fat and happy, and he's okay looking, I don't want to know where it comes from, but I'm going to eat the fat with you. God sends the word to him that, hey, I'm going to correct this, and he sends the same word to Samuel. I'm going to wipe out your sons, and I'm going to wipe you out, and Israel is going to fall because you didn't do your job, which is to bring the people back to me. People are chasing after all kinds of things. There are all kinds of idols that they're chasing after. In fact, it gave us a vision of the Ark of the Covenant of the Lord as an idol too, because they thought, hey, if we just take that out with us into battle, that will save the day for us. It's like, well, no, you need to get right with God. You need to worship God. Text told us, that there's nothing miraculous going on. People aren't listening to God. People aren't seeking God. Sacrificing is kind of slowed down. It wasn't because God withdrew himself. It was because the people and the high priests and their leaders were turning their back on God. They take the ark, they go out to fight the Philistines, which is their big enemy, and the Philistines wipe them out and take the ark. And Eli's two sons are killed. Eli dies when he finds out the ark is gone. His daughter dies. There is no more of his family left in the priesthood. So now Israel has no judge. They have no ark now. The ark is gone into Philistine. Pretty dark times for the nation of Israel. Now the Philistines with the ark, they get a lesson from God that their idols and their gods don't really exist. That there's nothing to them, and we see that with where they store the ark next to the statue of their god, and that statue keeps getting toppled until it's finally broken. All kinds of plagues fall on them. Rats are all over the place. They realize, we need to get rid of this ark, or at least pretend that we're getting rid of this ark. And the ark ends up leaving Philistine, and it ends up in a city called Kirjath Jearim, which is not quite to Shiloh, which is interesting. We found out at the very end of this passage we read yesterday that it's going to sit there for about 20 years. So somewhere in that 20 years, probably what happened is the Philistines have sacked Shiloh, or they've abandoned Shiloh. The Israelites have. It's no longer the spiritual center like it was when Joshua established it with the tent of the tabernacle. So it's now gone. We don't know why it's gone. It's just gone. They don't bring the ark bear as Samuel starts to rise up, because after 20 years of that ark being there, Samuel starts to take his place as the next and final judge of Israel. And we see that he's going to lead the people back to God. They're going to get rid of their idols. He lets them know that's why we got our butts kicked. That's why we lost our prestige, is because we turned our back on God. We lost our way with God. We need to get back to that. And we see that Samuel kind of moves the spiritual center from Shiloh down towards Mizpah, down into the territories of Benjamin, in a city called Ramah, which is where he comes from, which is about halfway between Shiloh and Jerusalem. And then as we get the kings, Saul comes from that area, but then we move down with David into Jerusalem. So this starts God moving away from Ephraim, lifting Benjamin up a little bit, but then he's going to move down to the tribe of Judah, which is where God always told us that's where he was going to end up. So we're seeing that happen in here. So we're seeing the rise of Saul. We're seeing the center of their spirituality start moving away from Shiloh and down to Judah. We're seeing them called back to God and giving up on their idols, at least for a time, and they get victory over the Philistines, at least for a time. So let's go ahead and we're going to read 1 Samuel chapter 7, verse 3 to 17. Then Samuel spoke to all the house of Israel, saying, If you return to the Lord with all your hearts, then put away the foreign gods and the Ashtaroths from among you, and prepare your hearts for the Lord, and serve him only, and he will deliver you from the hand of the Philistines. So the children of Israel put away the Baals and the Ashtaroths, and served the Lord only. And Samuel said, Gather all Israel to Mizpah, and I will pray to the Lord for you. So they gathered together at Mizpah, drew water, and poured it out before the Lord. And they fasted that day and said there, We have sinned against the Lord. Samuel judged the children of Israel at Mizpah. Now when the Philistines heard that the children of Israel had gathered together at Mizpah, the lords of the Philistines went up against Israel. And when the children of Israel heard of it, they were afraid of the Philistines. So the children of Israel said to Samuel, Do not cease to cry out to the Lord our God for us, that he may save us from the hand of the Philistines. And Samuel took a suckling lamb and offered it as a whole burnt offering to the Lord. Then Samuel cried out to the Lord for Israel, and the Lord answered him. Now as Samuel was offering up the burnt offering, the Philistines drew near to battle against Israel, but the Lord thundered with a loud thunder upon the Philistines that day, and so confused them that they were overcome before Israel. And the men of Israel went out of Mizpah and pursued the Philistines, and drove them back as far as below Beth-kar. Then Samuel took a stone and set it up between Mizpah and Shen, and called its name Ebenezer, saying, Thus far the Lord has helped us. So the Philistines were subdued, and they did not come any more into the territory of Israel, and the hand of the Lord was against the Philistines all the days of Samuel. Then the cities which the Philistines had taken from Israel were restored to Israel from Ekron to Gath, and Israel recovered its territory from the hands of the Philistines. Also there was peace between Israel and the Amorites. And Samuel judged Israel all the days of his life. He went from year to year on a circuit to Bethel, Gilgal, and Mizpah, and judged Israel in all those places. But he always returned to Ramah, for his home was there. There he judged Israel, and there he built an altar to the Lord. May God bless the reading of his word. May God bless you. Bye.